He's a manifestation of my dream. We must have been dreaming the same good thing. We just
good evening out there, and you are joining Here's the Life with Zemrah and my better half Ed, and we have such a great gentleman with us joining us this evening, and Ed is going to really have him to get down with us some really good information, because he and I don't want to say he, so I'm going to say Rabbi Hodges is, and he definitely goes with my philosophy that age is nothing but a number. As long as you can walk, talk, and breathe, you keep it moving. And that's certainly what he does. Before we our segment, I want to acknowledge one of our hosts that was part of Intellectual Radio, Nikki Martinez. And we are so regretful that she passed this past Sunday. And so we send her family our blessings and a peace of mind, and just simply to know that Nikki has gone to another experience in her life. So may God bless you. So, Ed, we're going to, let you do your thing with Rabbi Hodges, because the questions that Ed will be asking are usually very deep.
No.
A little deeper than I can get to. So we're going to turn it over to my better half, Ed Sherman.
Thank you, Zim. This evening, you're going to have with us this evening is Rabbi. He's Rabbi Hodges, a rabbi at the Temple of, make sure I get this right, the House of Israel Temple of Faith at 7130 South Chicago. And Rabbi, you've been there how long?
We've been at that location. We've been at that location, about better than 20 years. So that's why we are 7130 South Chicago, Chicago, Illinois 60619. We have every Friday. We have a class every Friday from 7 until 8:30. Have our services promptly every Sabbath from 12 o'clock until we start. Doors open at 12. We start promptly at 1 o'clock.
So you don't do late stuff?
No. So we there for about 3:30 we're out of there, unless you want to hang around and we talk. But at 3:30 we're through.
Rabbi, tell our listening audience, what is the Israel Temple of Faith? Because I know a lot of people in Chicago have seen the Temple of Faith on the Hebrews and the Israelites, but they don't know much about them. Quick definition of who the Hebrew Israelites are.
The Hebrew Israelites, if you know, if you're familiar with Scripture, the Creator chose Israel as His chosen people. This goes way back thousands of years. And the so-called Negro in America today is actually the Hebrew Israelites. The transatlantic slave trade, the people just didn't pick up anybody and bring them over here. Decide that God would bring Israel to a land in ships. If you study the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy is a clear history that identifies who the so-called Negro that experienced the transatlantic slave trade really is. And during the 400 years that we was in slavery, the fulfilling scripture, which the 83rd Psalm says, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more come into their mind." And what happened? We was brainwashed.
So you're saying that the African American Negro in America, what you want to call it, is actually the Hebrew Israelites from Africa, the original people from Africa.
We're the original. The Hebrew Israelite is the original people from Africa, but we call it Africa. See, Africa is a continent made up of countries, many countries. And that's one of the things that confuse people. They keep it called like all black folks in Africa, but Africa is a continent made up of many nationalities. Egypt, and all the other countries in Africa.
So you're saying Egypt is actually in Africa?
It's in Africa.
So why do the news and people in the press always identify Egypt as being in the Middle East?
Well, that's a long story, because actually what they did when they built the they call it Suez Canal,
right,
back here some years ago. See, that actually the nation of Israel is in Africa. In 1948, let me say this: the people, the powers that be, which is called a Jewish state. That's Israel. See, a Jewish state there's no such as Islam is a religion. Judaism is a religion. So when we start talking about religions, we're talking about Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Religions that man has taken on, basically with nationality. What we got to get back to is nationality.
So when you came into the knowledge of being a Hebrew and knowing that you were Hebrew, a descendant of Hebrews, when was that and what was that like?
Oh, that been a long time ago. That was actually, I came up in the Church of God in Christ. See,
like many of us.
My parents was in the Church of God in Christ. Bishop Roberts, 4021 South State Street, was my mentor. And when you hear folks talking about it, I think we just was celebrating not too long ago, the great migration, and when black folks started leaving the South. Leaving the South was because of the New Deal that went in. What president did that? I think that was that reason that was because of the farming. He put in a situation where small farmers couldn't make a living. Previous to that, most people was farmers, and the New Deal set up a situation where you could no longer make a living farming. And then the modern time was coming on, and factories and things was coming up north, and people left the South to come find jobs. And they call it the Great Migration. And let's see, we left the South my family left the South in 1938. So when you hear folk talking about the Great Migration, they talking about me. I'm sitting here as one of the.
How long did that last, the Great Migration? Because I might have been in that.
Well, it lasts actually. It lasts until about the time the war started. You know, people the Second World War when all 38, 39, early 40s, Chicago. They had us hemmed in what we call the black belt. You ever heard of the black belt?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. See, we was hemmed into the black belt, and we couldn't move too far east, too far west, and the black belt started somewhere around 31st, 26th, somewhere, and went out to 63rd, and they had us confined. We couldn't move. And then we started moving after the Civil Rights Movement. That's what broke up the black belt. But 43rd, 47th, 63rd, 35th, 39th, all that territory from known now as Martin Luther King Drive. But see, in the early days, that was known as what? The Grand Boulevard. Grand Boulevard to South Park. And then it changed from South Park to Martin Luther King, which is really deserved. That's the street that they give it a good name when they named it the Martin Luther King Drive.
Mm-hmm.
But see, all that developed within about 19, like I said, in 1938, 39, 40, black people was moving and they moved to Chicago.
So as a boy, and seeing all this moving to north, when did you meet up with the African Hebrew Israelites?
Oh, that came before we came into the knowledge of who we was. We practiced, like I said, we practiced the religion. Matter of fact, it's amusing. Sometimes I think about it. See, we used to teach the people, and this was this is the results of what we call religion and Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
In all religions, Islam and most of them, they teach this philosophy of when you die, you're gonna go to heaven. You see, and you're gonna wear white robes and walk on golden streets and eat milk and honey. And that's not. I know some people might say that that's not gonna happen, y'all. That's not. But that's what we was taught, and that's what Christianity taught. And Islam, they taught some other stuff. You're gonna go on some ship or go somewhere. See, and stuff.
You gonna go on a ship?
Yeah, there's a floating ship up in there, and you're gonna go there and things of that nature. And now, but the leaders that was teaching that, they were sincere. When the Church of God in Christ, one thing they were teaching, which was good, was that you be honest and sincere and treat your neighbor right and love everybody and all that stuff, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you're supposed to love everybody. That's what the commandments say. The things there was in religion, they don't tell you your nationality. You see, and the Creator created nations. This is important. See, I used to think that I was a Gentile, and that's what started us off. A bunch of young men that in the early 50s, we found out that we were not Gentiles, because the Bible says it. The Bible plainly says the Gentiles was in power. They're supposed to be in power. And we were not in power. The black man is not in power. And that's what started us to studying and reading the Bible and trying to interpret it and worked our way out. And then we started looking at prophecy. And that's why I said, when you read the 28th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy, right off the bat, who you are, tell us who we are, tell me who the so-called Negro is. And I basically say this: 85% of the people that experienced the transatlantic slave trade was Hebrew Israelites. And the people that sold the Hebrew Israelites, some of them were black people. They were black people that sold black nations. That's all prophecy that we can prove.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that the slave trade and the Hebrew Israelites, do you think there was a master plan in place?
Oh, it was a master plan by the Creator, though. It was planned by the Creator.
So you're saying if the Creator created it, it wasn't somebody else's doing?
Well, it's part of human development. When the human family, this takes us back to in the beginning. With what I'm talking about, in the beginning. In the beginning, the heaven and earth. And he put man in the garden. And he told the man, you can eat of every tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's right. We read. We know.
Now, do you take that literally, or you say this is philosophically or metaphorically speaking?
Well, it's got to be some reality to it, because this is what we're talking about. This is the results of where the human family is now. The human family disobeyed and broke the law that the commandment that the Creator gave Adam. He gave Adam what he said to Adam. The Creator created Adam, put him in the garden, said to Adam, thou shalt eat of every tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's a commandment. And Adam broke the law, deception. And this put the human family in the condition that we're in now. And that began the today.
So what do you see as the solution or the education we need to give people to make them understand as to who they really are? Well, everything has to begin with knowledge of self.
You got to. We got. Let me see if I can do this. We got to go back, and you got to go back to, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. We got to ask the question. We got to ask the question. Why did this statement? Why is this statement? Why this statement is because the Creator wanted someone to give him praise, glory, and honor. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing for nothing. So when you create for a reason. And the Creator created man to give him praise, glory, and honor. And he set in motion a law, a commandment, and the man broke the commandment. And then when he broke the commandment, what was the commandment? The commandment that he gave, he said, the day that thou partakest of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt surely die. That's what he said.
So, Rabbi, with the idea of free will?
Well, free will, a choice. That's why he said, I set before you this day life and death. You choose, and we chose. That's the whole problem. But we didn't choose it. We were deceived. That goes back to what I was talking about in the 3rd chapter when the adversary came in the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis. The Creator, what he said, the Creator rests from all the things that he had created and made. 6 days. In 6 days, the Creator had created and put everything in place. Everything was there, and the Adamic race was serving God, doing what they was doing. And then what happened? In the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis, what happened? Eve, the adversary, that what people refer to as Lucifer. Where did he come from? Came on the scene.
That's a good question.
See, that's a good question.
I usually ask that question.
Where did Lucifer come from? And I got some ideas.
So tell me what your idea is.
Because see, there's always been an angelic force. This we got to think kind of outside of the box and imagine and make words do what? Materialize. You got to think of, and I'm saying this, in the beginning, God. Can we identify God? A lot of people say you can't identify God. If you can't identify God, we worship Him. Everybody loves God. Is that right?
Okay.
See, and I know like some people gonna criticize me on that. See, when I say if you love God, you ought to do what God said. God said, if you love me, you do what? You keep my commandments. Ain't that what He said?
Mm-hmm.
The scripture says plainly, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And everybody said they're keeping the commandments. They're not keeping the commandments. Because religion came in and is carrying people contrary to the commandments. The Creator gave 10 commandments to Israel.
So you're saying that before that there was no
only commandment,
no religion. It was just a way of life.
It was just a way of life. And the way of life was good and evil, order.
So how do you see religion today? Is religion helping or hindering?
Well, religion is a word that do what? You do something religiously. And religiously means that you do it over and over.
You constantly do it.
So you can be a religious alcoholic. If a person drink religiously.
Religiously, yeah.
Yeah, see, so what we're talking about really now, because the human family is in trouble. And
big trouble.
Big trouble. And the Creator has set in motion a plan for salvation. And the plan that He set in motion is the preaching of the gospel of the kingdom. And the gospel of the kingdom is the reestablishment of the human government on earth, because the earth was created for man. The heavens, even the heavens belong to the Creator, but the earth He gave it to the children of men. Ain't that what it said? That's what the book says.
Mm-hmm.
See, so, and we lost that. We lost that during the conversation between Eve and the what I refer to as the adversary, Lucifer. And when Lucifer introduced, we talk about Lucifer introduced Eve, to me, was a way of life.
So you saying we were tricked? We were bamboozled?
Well, you was, yeah, because he didn't tell the truth.
We were deceived.
He was deceived, because see, Lucifer said, thou shalt not, the Creator had said to Adam, the day that thou partakest of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt surely die. Talk to Eve. What did He say? And when the Creator was talking to Adam and Eve in the garden, and He said, I heard your voice walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and we was naked. And the Creator said, who told you that you was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree that I told you not to eat? Is that what it said?
Mm-hmm.
And what did Adam say? Adam said, so we ate that. Who told you that you was naked? And that's when Adam turned on Eve a little bit. Said, the woman that you gave to be with me, she gave me and I did eat.
So in other words,
so he
blamed God.
He blamed her, and then right after that, if you read in the third chapter, the second part of the third chapter, and the book, first part, the book said, the Creator said nothing to Eve. Then you saw. That's why I said now, where did Lucifer come from? Because then in the third chapter, Eve told that the serpent told me that you, and the serpent told Eve, said, thou shalt not surely die. Is that what it said? But you should become as gods, knowing the difference between good and evil. So now here's a choice here. And the choice was, now man has been introduced to a way of life that he couldn't have. Because in the way of life, I'm just talking, the way of life that he was introduced to was materialism. And materialism replaces Materialism is what? Greed, envy, jealousy, the negative aspects of human character.
So
that's what materialism is.
So the worship of, we're going to get back to this after the break, but so you're saying that the worship of money is idol worship, actually, that you created.
That man it's materialism over God. Materialism is what you can, greed. Let me say it like that. Greed, and envy, jealousy. See, now what is good and evil, right and wrong? That's what everything is. Life is built on right and wrong. There is a right, there's a wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There is a truth that we cannot dispute, and I hope we might touch upon it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get a chance to do that. We're going to just take
that you cannot dispute. Somebody said, well, that's what you said, you know. I didn't say it, and I just made a statement earlier. I said that the commandment says this: if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
Yes.
I didn't say that. That's written. That was written 1,000 years ago. People said you don't have to keep the commandment. Some people. And I said, well, God, the 10 Commandments, Moses wrote what, 613 some kind of laws in the book of Leviticus about laws and things like that. Ooh.
We're gonna check it after we take a little short pause for the cause, and we're gonna do some more investigation on what do you believe and why do you believe it. Right here with Zemrah, Here's to Life.
I hear the sax man coming. I hear the sax man blowing, blowing all over this town. Blow, blow. Yeah. Listen to the sax man. Hear what he plays. Listen to the sax man. Just take you away. Listen to the sax man. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, have mercy. I hear the sax man coming. I hear the sax man blowing. Blah, 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 blah. All over this town. Come on now. just once in a while. Saxman turns this town upside down. Listen to the sax man play. Cause sax man plays all over this town. Sax man turns the town upside down. Saxman coming. I hear the saxman blowing. Listen to the saxman loud and clear. Saxman. You blow, boy. Listen to the saxman. Blow, 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 blow. You're back with Zemrah. Here's the life at IntellectualRadio.com. And again, we're here every Tuesday, 6 to 7, unless I have a gig. And speaking of gigs, I'll not be here next Tuesday because I am back at the La Vault by popular demand, I might say, and real excited about that. So we are in Homewood, Illinois. That's the 8th of August. I mean, the time is going by so very, very fast. Wow. And also you can catch me on Zemrah Music. And you can hear a lot of my music, my CD. Also go to CD Baby/CD Baby 2. And we are working at coming out with that third CD called Live. So we're looking forward to that. Got a lot of exciting things going on. So we're not going to take up too much. I'm not going to take up too much more time. We're going to go straight back to our co-host Ed with Rabbi Hodges. Good information.
Thank you, Zim. In keeping with our theme of intellectual radio, we've tried to bring some very heavy intellect here with Rabbi Hodges.
Yeah.
Who's a rabbi at the Temple of House of Israel Temple of Faith at 7130 South Chicago Avenue in Chicago. In which he's been a rabbi for the last 30-some years.
Something like
that. And he's here to explain to us that, gave us the revelation this evening that 80% of all of the African Americans sent over here in the slave trade were Hebrew Israelites. So just in case my brothers and sisters out there don't know their origin or their ancestors, they were Hebrew Israelites. And he's here today to explain to you exactly what that means, Hebrew Israelites, and that's a keeping of the laws of Israel. Rabbi, and before
I said 85%.
Oh, 85. I'm skipped the 5. I'm sorry.
I said
I gotta get it.
Rabbi said, "Don't be making no errors now. There's enough errors going on as it is."
I believe if you check it, you'll find that I'm halfway right. 85% of the people that experienced the transatlantic slave trade was Hebrew Israelites. And the reason I'm saying 85% because that other 20%, 25% is other people that was caught up in that trade, caught up in that because that was a time when human beings. You see, the white folks didn't start selling people. Black folk, the black man. When I make a statement like this, I make a statement: the black man is the father of civilization. And I can say this and believe it or not, and it's a true fact. I don't know if I believe it. A white man is just a black man turned white.
Say that again.
I said, blood clean it.
Go ahead.
And it happened.
Yeah.
It's still happening. A white man.
You just shook up the radio. Go ahead.
I said a white man, a black man turned white. See?
So you're trying to say that all of us are related and that everyone came from us?
Every human being. I get close to the
sound of your voice.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Because I want and
you want to be clear.
You probably gonna get some feedback on it. I really, and we shouldn't be too hard. Now I'm gonna get back some feed on this, on white folks, because white folks took on, came on the scene. Why? How? By black folks turning white. That's why we got what we call it. They call it leprosy. You know, and that's a truth that if people look at now, if people do their research, and they have already done it, try to move it around so that they said the black man, the white man was first. You know.
Just say this. Now, that has a lot of. I think I agree with Rabbi Hodges, because they had something on Facebook. It was really simply beautiful, and what it was there was a little girl, and she was it was a little white girl with her mom, and then it was a cute little black girl with her mom, and so the little white girl asked, why is she so dark, mommy? And so the white lady, she said, well, we come from her, or we come from, yeah. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And it was more in depth. I can't really say verbatim, but she said it like that. And what the scenario was, at the end, the two little girls went skipping on away together. I mean, it was so beautiful. It was a tearjerker, really. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was heavy, but it was what he was saying, more or less.
There's only one race, and that's the human race.
That's true.
There's only one race, and you got to understand how the Creator brought into being the human family. There had to be a beginning, and there's a lot that we don't know, and we still talking about it, and the scientists and people of that nature. But in Scripture, the Bible, as it has been messed with and translated and retranslated and things of that nature. But you'll find the truth if you're able to understand the story of the Scriptures. See, the Bible is the story of fallen humanity. And what we're trying to do now, and the Creator gave Israel a job to re-establish on this planet. This planet was created, the earth, even the earth, have I given to the children of men. See? And the children of men started where? In the Garden of Eden. Started where? In the east. See, over there, what we call Africa is named after some European general. That was not
King Africanus.
Yeah, some European, when they went over to conquer And they found that just like Columbus thought he was
in India.
It was in India. That's why they call it the Indians, the natives of America. We don't know. You don't know how long the Native American has been here and how they got here. See, all like that. Here we got people now. We spend so much money. We're so excited. We do so much to live comfortably. What the commandment says: love thy neighbor. All the laws and the greatest law that you have is just put into 2 laws. What are they?
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Because he is you.
Because it is. See, what we confuse, and the adversary come in and we got killing and stealing and hate, and where all that come from? That's a mindset. And what did the mindset start at? The knowledge of good and evil. The problem with the human family, and the reason the Creator put him out of the garden was because he don't know how to use good and evil. You don't know how to make that choice. See, you got to. I set before you this day a choice. See, so it's why you got to have the power to not to do, and you'll need some spiritual strength now. But that goes back to God, because the Creator sent. Now this goes back.
Go back a little bit more.
This goes back a little bit more. Now let's hope I can just do a little bit of this, and you got to think about it. In the when Satan said to the Creator said to Satan, because you deceived the woman, I'm gonna put an enmity between your seed and her seed. Is that in the scripture? It's in there. Well, you can pay attention. Woman don't have no seed. A woman don't have no seed. See? And so he said, I'm gonna put an enmity between your seed and her seed. And Lucifer, supposed to be a spirit. Does spirit have a seed? Now, did the angelic folks, which were Lucifer, and Eve, which was a female, how's that? Did they have sex and produce something? No, that's not what that is. That's a mindset. That's a spirit. See, that's a spiritual interpretation of how things is going to evolve, and that's the beginning of what we're looking at today, and it's still working out. He said to the and that brought in what we're talking about now. What? A redeemer, to redeem man, to get him back that which he lost. Right in that conversation, and there's more to it. If we have time, say if you come to the Bible class on Fridays.
Sure. If you come, you play it.
If you come to the Bible class on Friday from 7 until 8:30, just an hour and a half. If you come to the Bible class, the details. Even if you come to the service on Sabbath from 12 until 1, from 1 until 3:30, you get some more information. But what we're saying is, and why the human family is in of the of his breaking of the law, and he didn't break the law. He was tricked into it. He was deceived. He deceived me, and that deceived me, and I did eat. Eat what? She didn't eat no apple. Back in the day when I was in the church, they told me that Eve bit off an apple. Had a nice big red apple. You know, Church God Christ, one of the best organizations to get you started on a righteous track. But there's a lot of stuff in religion, in all religions, all religions. That's not teaching. That's why you have to be taught by what? The Spirit. When I owe my prayer where I pray. See, and I thank the Creator for resurrecting my mind, for calling me out of darkness. And when I said doctrine, I'm talking about the word situation into this truth. And this truth is giving you who you are, and where your inheritance lie. Everybody on the planet knows and identified by what? A nationality, except the so-called Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Land, language, and
everybody
culture.
has a land and a culture
And a language.
and a language, except us. And you keep calling us the black man. What's in it for the black man? A black man, you know. The black man, I said it earlier, the black man, the father of civilization, but that was taken away from him. And the reason we are in the condition that we are in, if you notice the story of the scripture, it tells us God chose Israel and set Israel in his place. The creator was supposed to be Israel's king. And what did they do? The first thing that they told Samuel, 8th chapter of Samuel, I think, first like that. We want a king to be like the other folks. We want a king.
We want to be like other folks.
To be like other folks. We still that type of thing. Give me a king to be like other folks. And the Christians, you ask for a king. Here I am to give you I give you the word actually, and here you want to ask for a king to be like other folks.
They're common folk.
And for that cause, we went into the human Israel, the Hebrew Israelite. The Hebrew Israelite, the Christ, all right, you want a king, I'm gonna give you a king, but this is what he's gonna do for you. And he totally told right off, he's gonna take some of your kids, he's gonna take some of your land, so just like other material system. People deal with materialism. Materialism is the thing that to the human family. Right now, you got multi-millionaires, people got more money than they gonna ever use. And they don't even want to pay minimum wage. You can't get $13. You don't want to pay minimum wage, and you're making more money than was ever made. Some of these families
more money you can spend
on these fast foods and all this stuff there. You got a president now, Trump. They got all that money, and he's not the only one. That is why greed is the next battle, the next physical battle going to take place is going to be over greed.
So you're saying it's not money, it's the love of money.
It's the love of money. You said it. Money. And people love materialism. See? People love to float around, and I got one you're going to get on me about that. See? Give me 3 jets. What you need 3 jets for? Give me but you can have it if you want to now. I'm not against people having what they want. But then if you're working for me, are you listening?
Yeah.
If you're working for me, I'm making good money, salary.
Absolutely.
See, I'm supposed to give you a good salary. Instead of right now while we're talking, they are arguing over money for education, money for what is Obamacare, and see how I just want to say, see how people mess you up. The same people that don't want Obamacare, but yet they want affordable what you call it?
Affordable care, which is the same thing.
Same thing.
They just don't like the name.
Just don't like the name, and that don't make sense. Right. You don't like the name, the mind. I want to say this. I'm gonna get this out. America.
Tell the world.
You think America's a democracy? Democracy.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. America's supposed to be a democracy. I'm glad I'm on this because I want people how the powers that be manipulate your thinking. And most of us don't pay any attention. America is supposed to be a democracy. 1 vote. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
If you vote, everybody got to vote. If you vote, your vote's supposed to count. And I made a prediction, and folks look at me now. I said that, what's her name, Hillary Clinton, was going to be the first woman president. I don't know when they're going to have another shot at women for now. I don't know when they're going to have another shot. But the fact is, Hillary was supposed to be and was the first female president of the United States. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. Did she?
Sure did.
The popular vote.
Yeah.
She won.
Sure did.
Where did the Electoral College come from? Somebody tell me. The Electoral College come in and overrode the popular vote.
Now those votes don't really count for real. They really don't even count.
Who is the Electoral College? You don't even know half of the people know what the Electoral College is.
Absolutely.
The
Electoral College.
Oligarchs from Europe.
They from all
in the establishment of this country, they said that the common man did not have enough rank.
That's all I'm saying. But see what I'm saying here? But how do you train your brain? And every time they train your brain, you're thinking. See, now they say that the Electoral College come in, and every time the Electoral College function and override the popular vote, drastic happens in America. It's only been done in imagine this, in 400, I think I'm right, in 400 years, the Electoral College has only been used 3 times. 3 or 4 times.
And this was,
ain't that something?
And this was number 3.
this
3 or 4.
It was used when Gore and Bush back here, when Gore and Bush, they in Florida they had the what's called hanging chads. That y'all remember that? And Gore actually won the Supreme Court then in the seat, and then the Electoral College won that. What happened? The war broke out in the Middle East. The war broke out.
You're right.
They accused the poor man of having weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction because America had knowed everything they had. And how many people died? How much money was spent? They put the country in for 3 or 4 years. How long?
Yeah.
That was the second time that the Electoral College in my time. I had even forgot about it. And then when I stopped, I said, "Who's the Electoral College?" And then I went back in Illinois. I had a brother. I said, "Brother, who's the Electoral College?" And we started, and they found out. I don't know who all the other today. I don't know who sits on the Electoral College in Illinois right now. But I know this: the guy found out most of the people that takes part of the Electoral College is nothing but millionaires and big-time politicians.
Oh, absolutely, Robert. We're gonna have to have you. We got to wind down. We're gonna have you come back.
Well,
you have so much good information, and this is what's really needed.
Well, okay.
That's why they call this intellectual radio.
Yeah. So we are here again at Intellectual Radio. We sorry we gotta cut it close or cut it off because Rabbi was on a good roll, giving us some information that a lot of us out here don't know, don't understand, and not clear of. But he definitely is clear of. Again, Rabbi Hodges, we want to really thank you for coming out and joining us this evening. You gave a lot of good information, and we're definitely going to bring you back so you and Ed can. Yeah, you heard what he said. He didn't even scratch the surface. So we're definitely going to bring you back. Again, for joining us this evening at Intellectual Radio, I am Zemrah.
I'm Ed.
And again, catch me at the La Vault on August 8th. I have 3 shows, 6 to 6:45, 7 to 7:45, and 8 to 8:45. No charge. Wonderful food, wonderful atmosphere. If you want to come out and celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or just come out and have a wonderful meal. Again, there are no tickets, no charge. I'd love to see you and entertain for you. Have a good evening.
Just what is it worth to have or not to have the love of your life? And it said to me, you better get right. What a joy it used to be in harmony, just letting love flow free and naturally. I am so grateful for this love sensation. Words aren't enough to give full